Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you've had a good week. Today being Friday, it's the last week for trading normal stock and Forex pairs. Those normal pairs on MetaTrader 4 for most brokers. But, throughout the weekend and throughout the week, there are indices, there are cryptocurrencies that you can trade. And, these pairs, not pairs, but these indices, they run through the whole week. So sometimes people start trading them on Saturday and stop trading on Sunday. And forgetting that they run throughout the week. And their market impact also comes from all these other charts that are traded. So basically on the weekend, when these other charts, when they are off, when you can't trade them, and when so many people are just sleeping throughout the weekend, these indices go on. But they go on without the participation of all these other people. So basically you have, normally on the weekend, you'll have kind of a different market from what you will have during the week. Because of the fewer people who are participating in all these other platforms. So normally those currencies those pairs and those charts, they're all on MetaTrader 5 normally. MetaTrader 4 has very, very well regulated charts, but MetaTrader 5 it has all sorts of charts. These new companies that want to put up their own kind of market for some kind of to add some kind of to add a bump into the market. When they want to put some charts that will be very challenging, they always use the MetaTrader 5. And MetaTrader 4 normally has very regulated charts. It basically has the word normally used is stock settings. Those are factory settings. That's what we normally have on MetaTrader 4. But MetaTrader 5, it's really something else. There is so much added in there that will give you a different kind of experience. Putting aside the nice graphics and nice colors that are on the actual platform, the market there is also different. Many of the charts are the same charts on MetaTrader 4, the Euro USD, GBP USD, those common charts. They are, the market is the same. But, you will find futures, cryptocurrencies, which are not on MetaTrader 4, and these volatility indices that are not on MetaTrader 4, especially charts like boom and crash. I'm going to look at those ones right now. Normally those indices don't have fundamental analysis. You can do fundamental analysis, but then you'll have to follow up on so many other charts. For example, the volatility indices, VIX. VIX is based on the S&P 500 index, which is an index that has a number of stock charts in it. So to do some fundamental analysis for that particular index, then you'll have to go through all those other charts and see how those companies are performing and how they impact the S&P 500 index. Then you look at the volatility of that index. Now here you have many VIX charts. There is 75, there is 100. So there are many other things that you have to look into before you get to the actual baseline of that particular chart. So that leaves us with with the fact that we have to basically do technical analysis in order to get good entry points. For many people, technical analysis is very difficult. Fundamental analysis is normally, that one is like a cheat code. Fundamental analysis is like a cheat code. If something bad happens in a country, obviously their currency will lose value, and that's like a cheat code. It's something obvious that is going to reflect on the chart. If something very good happens in US, then every chart that has US as the first currency starts going up. That is as obvious as the sun rising and setting. So obvious. But for these other charts, you don't have that kind of news that's going to give you that kind of predictability. So there you're left with technical analysis. Before we get to these charts, let's take a look at the economic calendar and see the events that impacted today's market. If you are trading these normal charts, Euro USD, GBP USD, Today there is there are a few events left, basically three. 3:30 retail sales control group, and then retail sales. So these two here, these are the events expected for today. So an improvement is expected in both, and they are both high impact events. And today being a Friday, and these two events affecting the US dollar, you know what to expect. Some good volatility in the afternoon. To make your last trades for the week on these currency pairs. So the retail sales group is expected to improve from negative 0.7% to 0.4%, which is good. Then also retail sales expected to improve from negative 1.3% to negative 0.4%. So the predictions here are very, very positive for the US dollar. So if you're trading Euro USD, you expect it to go down. GBP USD, expect it to go down. If this comes out positive and the market impacts the chart in that, the way it's supposed to. If maybe it will come out like non-farm payrolls that came out positive, and things went the other way. But here, if everything goes as planned, then those charts will definitely go down. Then later on at 5 p.m., the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index expected to rise from 85.5 to 86.5. So if this comes out positive and impacts the market the way it's supposed to, then this it will be like a barrage of events just taking the market down for charts that have the US dollar as the first currency. So basically for this one here, you'd expect charts like USD, Canada to be pushed down, technically. Then charts like Euro USD, GBP USD, those ones to rise. Charts like USD Canada to go up, and then Euro USD and GBP USD to go down, because the US dollar will be gaining value. So these are the last high impact events for today. And these ones will close the week. The others that I left, they are all they're all very, very low impact events. So once these others here start driving the market, wherever they will be driving it, then these ones here are just going to keep on pushing them further. Just small pushes. But when the market has already been pushed by a very big by three big events like these ones, then these small pushes, they will just drive it further and further and further. So today I won't look at Forex charts. Today it's basically these indices and those other charts. Now, so for those ones, to this app, this technical analysis app, I added this chart, volatility S&P 500 index. So this one is for the VIX, for technical analysis for the VIX. So basically, now this does not particularly aim at the VIX 75. The list is here. Now here I'm going to be using the web trader. So there is VIX 75 index, VIX 50 index, 25 index, 100 index, and 10 index. So all these are volatility charts, the VIX, and where they come from is the S&P 500 index, and this is their symbol, VIX. So basically, here, even if, this one is showing sell, too much sell here and strong sell. And at the same time, in the volatility 75 index chart, we have this very, very strong downward movement. Now, you can use this as a tool to help you analyze this chart. And it's normally these things work out. All these tools are out there. I just assembled this whole assembly that you see here to give this kind of analysis from 1 minute to 1 month. So this is information that is redirected from Trading View, and Trading View redirects it also from other brokers, and then we get this. Yeah, so I assembled this just to give us a picture of what's happening in all these time frames, and this was the closest that I got to the VIX. So so this one here is basically a general VIX technical analysis that gives us a look into the volatility indices. Yeah, so this is showing strong sell, and here we are having a very strong selling movement. That is volatility 75. Yeah, let me load volatility. Let me load all of them, and we see if they're all moving in the same direction. Volatility 10, very strong selling movement. Volatility 100. This one here is buying. Yeah, so this one here it has upward movement. Then volatility 25, it's also buying. Volatility 50, selling. Then volatility 75, strong sell. So, so just from okay, we shall need so many scenarios to get actual, to get actual proof of what's happening here. But what we can, what we can take from this is that VIX 75 and VIX 10, and these are 1 hour charts. They seem to be responding very well to this. What you can say for the others, like VIX 100, which has strong buy. These charts here, we shall, they're just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're just 5 charts. So these ones we can, look at them in very, very, we can look at them closely. Just 5 charts, just for 1 hour. You can have a special episode and look very close into these charts and understand why they move opposite from each other and why they behave the way they do. Yeah, so looking at the lot size that has been allocated by this program, this is volatility 100. Yeah, so this is something we must know about these charts. So VIX 10 has 0.2. This one has been suggested by the program. Volatility 100 also 0.2. Basically all these. But VIX 75, it has 3 decimal points, 3 decimal places in the lot size, which means the risk value of this volatility 75 is very, very high. So it's, as these others here have, the minimum lot size is 0.01. For VIX 75, we have 0.001. Yeah, and that 0.001 can even earn you more money than the 0.1 of these other charts. And it can also, it can also move the other direction that same way. You can make a lot of money and you can lose a lot of money like that. Now, another thing to seriously consider in these charts, I'm going to add a volumes indicator and oscillator here. So these volumes are, okay, I'm very sure it's not very clear, but if you have your platform loaded in, then you can take a look at the volumes of these, of these volatility indices. So one thing to have into consideration when trading this, and these volumes here, the numbers are quite okay. Normally, a normal volumes indicator will show you some rise and fall, but then for this, for these indices, it's very, very important to actually measure the actual value. Like right now, every chart that every volume stick that I'm measuring has a value of 1,800. For the ones which are bullish, then the one which is bearish is 1797. So here is 1799. So there is like a volume ceiling for this, for this volatility index. Now the reason behind this is at certain intervals, at certain, okay, not at every point, you're going to have a slight drop in volume for these charts. So where we're getting, okay, this one is the 1 minute chart, and we have 30, 30. So all these bars they show you that every candlestick has a volume of 30. A very, very precise number. Very, very precise number. And that is not something okay, it's not something good. This one here, which was a bit less, has 29. So when you're looking at these indices, the volume, it matters so much. Where you have a slight change in volume, then you have your signal. Now, this is a 1 minute chart, but you can already see a drop in volume. Let me load this and I give you the actual figures. So in the previous minute, the fourth minute, they are about that candlestick has the value of 30 in volume. Then the one following has a value of 29. Then for this past minute is a volume of 22. So in all these other minutes previously, there was no change in volume. All the candlesticks have a volume of the value is 30. But this one you can see now the volume is starting to rise. So we're having a downward trend, and now there was a change in volume in these two previous 1 minute candlesticks, and now the volume is rising back to where these others are. So here you can most likely have an upward trend starting to form. Very, very likely, but you have to be very careful. You have to get a confirmation of that trend starting to form. But from where it started dropping, every candlestick has been above that one, and that is quite that is something that is very important to look out for. So this is like micro trading. You're looking at this thing from looking so closely into it to get this value, so you can wait for about an hour or two, maybe just 30 minutes, until you get these particular values, which is very important for the VIX. So for these charts here, in order to avoid losing a lot of money, it's very important to just wait for these values and you just be patient, because when you get a good trade, when you get a good trade, then it's very, very nice. So this this kind of upward trend is starting to form right now, because the volume changed at this bottom here. There could be other factors. If you keep on looking for them, maybe you'll get other factors. But this is one factor that I know for sure, where you can measure your support levels and resistance levels, and you start trading from that point of accuracy, where so many people look at a chart where you started selling from, and it was just at the point that it started selling. That kind of accuracy, you get it from looking at these volumes. It's something not very common on this chart. So when it happens, then you have a very nice entry point there, in addition to all your other trading strategy methods that you use. Okay, let's look at two more charts, the boom and crash. Boom, this is the boom chart. It looks like this. Now, boom and crash, these ones are based on cryptocurrencies. So the values of cryptocurrencies, all of them combined, they provide the basis for this chart. So normally these charts are traded in a 1 minute chart to give you this kind of appearance. So this kind of look is what you get from the this one is boom. This is the boom index. So you have so the boom is basically this one big major candlestick going up, then it starts tiptoeing down, small starts falling down. So there are so many candlesticks falling down, and then one big one going up. For example, here you have so many going down, then this boom, and then like that, and then boom, and then like that. Then crash, also in the 1 minute chart. Same impact, same kind of appearance. When it is rising, it rises in small bits, then it crashes, then it rises, then it crashes. So these charts, they look nice. They look nice, and imagine if you're starting to sell from here, and then boom, it just crashes. So these two charts, they don't move in opposite directions. They have a story behind them. All these cryptocurrencies, they contribute to this movement. So I think these are the most unique charts that you will ever find anywhere. This kind of setup, it's just it's so artistic. It's very, very artistic. So so I'm looking into these charts. I'm seriously looking into these charts because I have traded them manually, and they need some kind of automated system to run them, because they are purely, they're almost purely based on some kind of a synthetic, they are synthetic indices, so they have some kind of computerized, some kind of computer program that is running them, and the best thing to go against a computer program is another computer program that you've actually made yourself. There you'll be at par. So so this is a crash 1000 index. There one is the boom 1000 index. This is what they look like, and this one here is volatility 75. If you notice something about all these charts is the volumes, the values of the volumes, they are all almost they all look to have the same volume. So where you get the smaller increase or the small decrease in volume, then that is the point where you can start having your entry points. So I think I think that's it for today. Those are the charts we're looking at today. So as you go into the weekend, you can study these charts. You can just study them and see how they are moving. Don't invest money in these charts if it's the first time you're seeing them. Don't just invest money, study them, because I can assure you these charts have taken out so many accounts. When you start trading and you can even put in like $10, you put 0.01 in volatility 75, then you can just walk away for a bit and come back and find when that 0.01 has made like $300 from your $10, and you will celebrate and put in a bigger lot size. And what happens in the Forex charts is nothing compared to what happens in VIX. VIX can clean you out in seconds. So study it, and just get in when you know exactly what you're doing. Have a strategy. You might trade Forex charts without a strategy and still make money, but for VIX will knock you out. Here, ignorance is not bliss when it comes to VIX. You can't go in when you're ignorant. You have to really study that market and get in, and the rewards are really good. It's really rewarding, and if you go in prepared, you'll be rewarded. If you go in unprepared, then you will, we shall sit around a fire one day and tell stories of how VIX cleaned our accounts. And the stories might be similar, but it will be nice to listen to all those stories. So as you go into the weekend, just keep on looking at those charts. Then next week we shall look at cryptocurrency charts, and we shall also look at mining Bitcoin. That whole myth of mining Bitcoin. I'm going to explain to you how it works, and we shall have a good time looking at that, and you will discover how easy it is to do all these things. So that's it for today. Have a good weekend. Goodbye.
Smart 24, driving business.
Amanya ganze Alex Tango okuva wano ku Tango Creations Limited Seta. Omuntu yena ayagala okuyiga okanika amasimu yandetaaze okumanya bino wammanga ku ssimu kungulu kuyo ne munda muyo. Tugenda kuyiga ku bika by'amasimu era nga yena yandetaaze okumanya ebika by'amasimu byetugenda odiringa nabyo. Tulina ebika by'amasimu bibiri era nga tulina ekika eky'amapeesa era n'ekirala kye tulina ekyaseereza oba kye twandiyise smartphone, nga bino ebika byo gy'osanga amasimu agasinga. Ngeno ey'amapeesa ekigiyisa ey'amapeesa nsonga amapeesa gabeera ku screen wano wabweru era ng'oba osooginyigira kuno, nga ekyenjawulo ekiyinza okuba kigiriko nti eba ekyagingirawo erina charging port yayo wano oba we bakyagingira, nga wano we bayisa audio pin oba omuwulirwa sound ku earphone bwaffe, nga wogikyusa wano mu maaso wano wabeera ewawulirirwa eddoboozi lyayo nti omuntu ng'akubidde sound efulumira awo. Wogikyuse n'emabega ojja kusangayo akantu akafaananawe kati nejja kuba kamera ku ssimu, naye okusinziira mu bika ebyenjawulo kamu bakasawaako, nga wano waggulu ebeera sound wefulumira. Nga wotunula wano waggulu wabeerawo kano akali waggulu kano kolaba kalinga akataala era kakola nga ka flashlight kuyo. Nga tugenda ku kika kyaffe kino ekirala, eno gye tuyita smartphone oba gye tuyita seereza, efaanana bweti ekikula kyayo, ekika kye tusobodde okufuna leero, nga yo okucyaginga kwayo ekyagingira wano, nga buno obutuli bwolaba obubiri wano, buno obuli side ne side, bwe bufulumirwamu eddoboozi lya audio oba bakubidde eyimbira wano n'ennyimba. Tugikyusa wano erina amapeesa, lino lye ligissaako, lino lye ligijjako, era nga w'okyuse n'emabega waayo ojja kusanga nti waliwo kano akataala kano kolaba naye ketujja okukozesa kekakola nga ka flashlight. N'otunuulira wano eno ye kamera, kino kyolaba ekya round ekinene ye kamera yaayo, ate nga kino kispace kyolaba wano ennaku zino essimu ezifuluma zibaako ekinkumu, era nga kino kiba kinkumu kyayo oba fingerprint wooteeka olugalo lwo neyeggula, ate nga ekisemberayo ddala waggulu kye tuyita audio pin weegenda oba earphone mwozifumita okuba nga okola ki owuliriza sound. Ekyenjawulo ekiri ku eno nti yo eba ne kamera mu maaso eri entono kyetalina eya button, ate nga kino ekirala mwe bayinza okukubira n'oba nga owuliriramu. So byebyo ebika ebibiri eby'amasimu bye tulina. Essimu yaffe eno ey'amapeesa oba button phone bwe tugisumula ki ekigirimu munda. Katusumule tulabe ki ekiri munda. Sooka n'ojjako ekisaanikira kyayo kino eno, then n'ojjamu eryanda lyerino wano, then obusumaali tubadde twabugjeemu era tugenda kukozesa olwala lwaffe okusumula essimu eno okumanya biki ebiri munda. Weegendereza ng'ogisumula kubanga oyinza okubako by'okutula munda. Ensonga lwaki eyitibwa amapeesa, olw'ensonga tulina amapeesa gano ge gagifuula okuba mapeesa era nga tugasangamu munda. Ekirala twongere osooka ojjawula ebitundu byayo. Ino gye kisaanikira kyayo ekyemabega ekikoona ku mapeesa emabega. Wogikyusa eno mu maaso gaayo tujja kwesanga nti tujja labagana amapeesa go gaako gagwera ku board era oganyigira kuli, era nga kubeerako ka plate tuyinza okugamba akanyiga amapeesa bwe kati bwe kafaanana ku mapeesa bwe kati bwe kafaanana. Era tujja kwesanga nti mulimu screen zirina ebika ebyenjawulo naye eno essimu mapeesa eno erimu screen eno efaanana bweti. Kano ke ka microphone, ke kazindaalo omuzungu kayita ka microphone era nga ke kamu ku kwogererwamu mu ssimu. Kano kakyajinga, omuzungu kayita ka charging system, ke kakyajinga essimu. Kano ke kamu ku kayingiramu earphones omuzungu kayita ka audio jack, era nga buno bolaba wano obuli wano maaso bwe tuyita obukondo bw'eryanda oba bwe tuyita mu luzungu battery terminal, nga kano kolaba wano akesumulula bwe kati ekeebika. Kano keka slot oba akatereka memory card yaffe oba oyagala okugiyimbisa ogiteeka mu kano. Essimu eno ya line 2 era kyovula nga buno obuntu bufaanagana era nga buli mu kikula kye kimu, naye wawuzo gy'okusanga nga mapeesa nga tezirina bubiri nga za line emu okusinziira ku bikula ebyenjawulo. Nga eno gyolaba wano kano akafaanana nga akazindaalo, kano ke tuyita ka vibrator oba katugambe ekikankanya essimu in case oba mu ngeri yonna singa baba bakukubidde eba ejja kankana. Kano ke tulaba wano ke tuyandise oba ke tuyita kamera ke nakulazeeko oli emabega ka kamera, era nga kano kolaba wano oba kino kyolaba ekinenenene bwe kiti, guno gwe muzindaalo gwaffe oba akamansukira mwe tuwuliriza sound mweba eyimbira, era nga kano kolaba akatini wano ke ka balubu kaffe oba akatuweereza ekitangaala oba akataala mu ssimu, era nga okusingira ddala ebyo bikola akasimu kaffe ak'amapeesa, era nga singa woobirabye byonna bye bibiri mu mapeesa yaffe. Ate eno yo seereza efaanana etya munda. Okugimanya engeri gyefaananamu tugenda sooka tugisumulule mpola mpola. Peesa yaffe yanjawulo okusinziira ku eno, nga ekyenjawulo ekiri ku eno nti ye erinamu zino layini zolaba eziyitaayitamu weziti zetuyita fiber oba emikutu omuyita network ey'enjawulo okuva ku point emu okutuuka ku ndala. Kano akawaya kola